My guest today comes from Egypt, Mrs. Shaimaa Solaiman, Managing Director of Challenge Law Firm, which is one of the leading law firms in Egypt. They were established in 2010, and they provide a very wide range of legal services to both corporate clients and individuals. Through their expert consultants and partners that have extensive know-how and experience in various fields of law, such as antitrust, corporate law, immigration, labor law, intellectual property rights, or mergers and acquisitions, and many more, actually. Thanks a lot, Shaimaa, for joining us.
You're welcome, my dear. It's my honor.
Thank you very much. I will start with a question. If you at any point have felt that being a woman in the legal sector, right? You were admitted, as far as I know, you were admitted to the Egyptian Bar Association in 2001.
Yes.
In your own country was an advantage or a disadvantage, and if you at any point had to overcome a special challenge in pursuing your career.
Yes, of course. In Egypt, it's not easy to be a lawyer for females because in Egypt, we don't have much trust in female, especially in the field of law, because they always have their doubts about her ability to represent them before the judge, because sometimes she's a mother, she could be pregnant, and so on. So
she has other responsibilities, yeah.
Yes. So they have their doubts about putting their work in female hands. This was at the beginning, of course, because I graduated from Faculty of Law in 1999. And I got my master's in 2001, and then I joined the international law firm I worked for around 10 years. Then I established Challenge. When I worked for the international law firm, I had a good confidence, trust, because I used to deal with international
clients,
multinational clients, of course. So I got more confidence, more trust. And after 10 years from working for this international law firm, I decided to resign and start my own career. And this, at the beginning, of course, it was very difficult, because one of the things that I faced was how to convince a client that you could handle their missions. Yes, and it does. And sometimes I struggle to gain their self-confidence because I don't have previous cases. Sometimes they ask me for references, and I'm just starting my own career, so I don't have much reference. I remember that I keep chasing a client for 2 years in order to convince him to work with Challenge, until I got it.
Did you manage to do that?
Yes, I got it. So it's not an easy task, but it is. I feel that I am happy to be a lawyer.
Thank you for that. What would be the proudest moment in your career, Shaimaa? What would be the best professional advice you have received along the years?
The proudest moment, of course, when a challenge succeeded, because I took the decision is a very, very critical time, especially we have a revolution in 2011 and the country was down. So it was a brave and risky decision. So when I made it, I am very proud of myself that I succeeded to do it.
You should, of course.
Yes, and the most advice I took, it was from my sisters of my previous boss. When I joined the international law firm, I learned from her a lot, and she taught me a very good, or gave me a very good advice. She told me, Shaimaa, you have to be able to work under pressure, and you have to be multitasks. So I abide by this advice until now. Because it's also a challenge to do this, to be multitaskers and to work under pressure, to have the ability to manage this. It's very professional.
Of course. And the best advice also came from a woman.
Yes. And by the way, I'm an Arabic lawyer, not English one. So but this is one also of my challenges, that I have to learn English in order to be able to work internationally.
Excellent. Shaimaa, I'm not sure if you can remember possibly an interesting story that is worth remembering from the life, well, of a lawyer, particularly an immigration lawyer.
We recently have a funny story for one of our staff and in the immigration field. The clients always don't know how much we face in order to give them the high quality work and to satisfy them. And one of the funniest situations that when one of my staff was at the immigration authority, he is trying to finalize one of our clients' cases. He is applying for a residence permit. But unfortunately, we have 4 passports for the main applicant and 3 dependents. So he received 3, and the 4th one, he spent around 4 hours waiting for the 4th one, and he didn't receive it. So the police officer started doubting about him because he stayed at 4 hours at the immigration authority, and this is a security authority in Egypt. So they arrested him.
Oh my God. Really arrested your colleague?
Yes, not arrested. They not they not put him in jail. No, but arrested him because they suspected him because he is stayed for 4 hours. So he called me, Dr. Shaimaa, I have been arrested. What can I do? I told him, be calm. You didn't do anything wrong. They have misunderstood the situation because you spent around 4 hours there. You have to leave the authority and come back. So we contacted our connection in order to make them release him, and they also review the cameras because they doubt that he is in the immigration authority illegally. The client wasn't with him, but this is not real. The client was with him and signed all documents, and then he leaves my lawyer in order to receive only the passport. So when they convinced it, they released them. But it was very funny situation because he was afraid and he was terrifying.
He will never forget that, I'm pretty sure.
Of course. he is now when he has an appointment in immigration authorities, he is very careful.
Yeah. If I'm not back in 3 hours, you know where to find me, right? Arrested. Thank you for this, Shaimaa. Thinking about this story and thinking about possible new colleagues that you're hiring in your company, what would be, well, an excellent immigration lawyer should have certain qualities, right, that they possess. What would be like a top 3 of these qualities that you're looking for?
Smart at first, representable, have the ability to deal with the governmental authority, because this is one of the most issues that we have or we face with governmental authority. Sometimes a client prefers to handle the task or the mission at the first by himself. And they cause a lot of problem with governmental authorities because they don't have all background about how to deal with them. So the professional immigration lawyer should know how to deal with immigration governmental authorities, how to convince them with our cases, because sometimes we have abnormal cases. So when we have abnormal cases, we have to submit exemptions, we have to submit memorandum in order to explain to them how this very important, yes, for the client or for the country if it is a national project. So they have to be smart enough to let them convince it, because sometimes also we have cases that we have to be presented for the minister himself in order to take a decision, not because it's not an easy one. So he has to be smart, efficiency, and representable.
Thanks a lot. I've heard so many times the fact that, well, people feel they will have to know how to deal with the government officials. It seems like these government officials anywhere in this world, they have like a special profile, you know, and in the immigration field, you need to know how to deal with these people. It doesn't really matter if it's Egypt or China or Brazil or whatever. You need to know how to deal with them, you know.
Yes, it's very sensitive, by the way. It's a very sensitive field. It's not an easy, by all means, but it seems from the beginning that it is a procedural field of law. It's you follow the procedure, okay, so you can get it. No,
or simple admin.
Yes, it is not an easy field.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Shaimaa, I presume you did not want to be an immigration lawyer, or well, a lawyer in general, since you were a kid, right? What did you want to
Yes.
be when you grew up? You did?
Yes. I
Oh,
always I dream to be a human doctor because here in Egypt the top three faculties is faculty of medicine, faculty of pharmaceutical, faculty of engineering. So when you raise up, you found your dad and your mom asked you to be one of those
one of
doctors.
these, yeah.
So I have a dream to be a human doctor, but unfortunately I couldn't. And I thank that God that I couldn't, because I couldn't see blood scenes. So I wonder how I could dream to be like this while I'm afraid from blood. So I have to go even on commerce faculty or faculty of law. And my father encouraged me to take faculty of law. When I entered it, I found it totally different as not as they told me. So I love it so much. I love law. I love being a lawyer, and thanks God that I am a lawyer right now, because I couldn't imagine myself to be any other thing
Anything
except a
else?
lawyer.
Amazing. And one last question, Shaimaa, what would be your superpower?
I think my superpower is multitasking, because in order to manage a law firm and being a good mother in the same time, it's a very. And I also separated last year from my husband, so it's a really challenge. But my son is 14 years old. He's a teenager. He is stubborn. He is so I have
Very
to give.
problematic age.
Yes. So I have to give my work to. I have to satisfy my work, and I have to satisfy my kids. So it's a very challenging to be a managing and owner of a law firm and a mother in the same time, because raising a child is not easy at all. I faced a lot of problems with Ahmed, is my son, because he always telling me that, mommy, you always work. I need you to stay with me. So I sometimes I did my work and stay with him, and this has come on my time of rest. I can have enough rest because I have to be good in both things. So I think this is a superpower for all women. I think that to be a managing partner and a mom, it's very difficult.
True. Thanks a lot, Shaimaa, for being with us. It was amazing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, my dear. You're welcome.